guys and welcome to a new video. Today I will be talking about Together. Alright, so Together is another example of a great horror film that has released in this year as an original movie instead of a sequel, prequel or something else. It's just an original idea coming to life on the big screen, being a massive hit in 2025. 2025 is the greatest year for horror fans. I have to say it, it's absolutely awesome what the genre is doing this year. But I have also seen Together. I first heard about it when I was in America and a lot of people were raving about it back then. A lot of people are raving about it now. I skipped it in America because I wanted to watch other movies and I chose Weapons over this one. And Together, I thought like, okay, it's coming out in Belgium only 1 week after I return, so that is not the biggest wait. So I will just watch it back then. I watched it and I have to say, I'm a little disappointed. And that's mainly due to the fact that everyone is raving about this movie, so I was expecting very big things, of course, so my anticipation and my hypes were quite up there, and that's probably the main reason why this movie fell flat for me a little. Not that it's bad in any kind of way, because this movie definitely fucking rocks. It's a very good movie. But I expected a little bit more, and most of that has got to do with the first half of this movie, which I thought was a little bit on the boring side. The story didn't really sit with me, the characters didn't really sit with me at that point. At the end of the film, they still really didn't. I like seeing Alison Brie and Dave Franco on screen. I just thought their characters weren't the most interesting characters out there. Jamie, or that other character, that's colleague for Alison Brie's character, I thought he was interesting, and I never expected some of the plot twists that are in this movie, and I did not see one of those things coming, especially if you look at the certain characters and if you look at what they did with him. Did not see that coming, so I thought that was a pretty damn good job on that front. But just the characters in the first half of the movie, and it fell a little bit flat for me. I thought it was a pretty mediocre story. I thought it was pretty, we have seen this before, and it didn't really encapsulate me. But of course, a lot of people online were raving about how gross this movie is. So I was also waiting for that to happen, and I thought it took a pretty long time, and it definitely got there in the third act, but it did take, for me personally, a little too long to get to that point. The story was still good, the story was keeping me interested, so that's also quite okay. It was just that I thought that there was something missing from the first half for me to care deeply about it. I was interested enough, but not wowed enough by it. Then the third act of this movie came, and that's when all hell breaks loose, basically, and when everything goes to shit. And well, it definitely caught my attention more, but that's mostly due to the, in fact, very gross parts of this movie. I didn't think it was the most gross thing I've ever seen in my life. I've seen worse things, and I haven't even seen Human Centipede yet, so don't get me started on that. I still need to watch those movies, if I ever dare to do that. That being said. But yeah, I thought it was okay, and then the third act was pretty awesome because it was gross and it was interesting, and the story went in ways where I didn't think it was going to go. Especially the ending was pretty wild and pretty interesting. Didn't think they would actually do something like that, but they did it. So yes, in the end, I think I can safely say that Together is a pretty okay movie. I just hope that I would love it more than I actually did. The characters were good enough, were interesting enough, and mostly in the second half, as their story and their relationship status / goals didn't really fully encapsulate me in the first half. I wasn't that interested, I wasn't that invested by the entire thing that they were starting to play out for us. So that's pretty sad, if you have to say it. I was pretty bummed out with that, which is why my score is not as great as some of the other scores I have seen on this platform. Still, the third act did gross me the fuck out, and I was pretty invested from that second half to see how they would solve this problem and how they would do it. And I also thought that the body horror was just a genuinely great part. Like whenever the things happen that attracts them to each other, that scene in the hallway, ooh, eerie as fuck. That scene that happens right after that, where there are things happening and they need to get something like that without spoiler, absolutely grossed me the fuck out. So I say job well done. In the end, it just took a little bit too long for the movie to get to that point of being awesome. So I decided to give this one 3.5 stars and a heart. What did you think of this one? Please let me know in the comments down below, because I'm really excited to hear your opinion on this movie. I want to thank you for watching, and I'd like to see you in the next video. Thank you, and bye bye.